As we are approaching the regional councils and local authorities elections on the 26th of November, what does the Bible tell us about elections and how are we supposed to behave during elections? To help us unpack elections from a biblical perspective, we're now joined virtually by Pastor Zezito Epifanio from the Logos Family Church. Pastor Epifanio, good morning and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Namibia. Thankful, I'm grateful to be this morning and discussing a bit our elections that are coming up.
Right. Just to get into it, the choice is not without conditions. It comes with the expectation that those chosen will respond by living according to God's will, which includes practicing righteousness and justice. This is from Genesis chapter 18, verse 19. But what does this verse actually tell us?
And I would add more to that, like Proverbs 29, verse 2, that says, when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. I will also add on that on Micah chapter 6, verse 8, that says, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. And God requires of us in this country, and I think in generally, even within Africa, that when we are given responsibilities required of God by us, that we need to be people of righteous, people of integrity, people that understands the principles of God, people that governs through the principles of God. And I think when we do that, we have a country that is stable, a country that is focused, a country that has a vision, a country that has a purpose. And I think everyone living in it will be able to enjoy the blessings that that country has to offer.
Right. Is voting considered a Christian duty or a privilege in a democratic society?
I would say both. I believe it's both. It is a privilege and it is a duty. That if we don't vote, the wrong person might be in power and all of us will suffer. And I think that it must be our duty as Christians to be able to vote. And also, it is a privilege that is so many countries, even within Africa, that we as Christians do not have the opportunity to vote. And I think it is both. It is a privilege and it is a duty for us as Christians to participate in voting in elections and vote the person of your choice that you feel this is what God wants you to vote for.
What does the Bible tell us about unity and why is it important to be united as a country during the elections despite being in different political parties?
I think when we are united, we have a strong country. Disunity always brings chaos. It brings pain. It brings frustration, even to a point that it also brings death. And one of the greatest gifts God has given us is the ability to live in unity among our brothers and sisters, regardless of our differences. And as Christians, there is one thing that God asks of us is to pursue unity in the midst of our differences. And it is good to have differences, as within those differences that we grow. It is with those differences that we actually build one another. We cannot always, everyone cannot think alike. So we have to have different voices. And I think that is what makes us an incredible nation, and it what makes Christianity an incredible aspect of life, that God actually commands of us to live in unity with one another. Even if you don't agree, we can still be united.
What would you say are some of the social issues from a biblical perspective that need to be prioritized for Christian voters?
I think one of the things that we need to look at that is very important for us, as the scriptures that we alluded before, that we want to say integrity. When we have leaders that need to be leading this country, need to be men and women of integrity, people of vision, people that has truthful, people that understand the dynamics of family, that understand the dynamics of governance, and specifically guiding this country to a point that all of us can be a part of it. So for us, moral issues are very important, that we want leaders that represent us, but also represent the aspects that is of importance to God. And whatever is important to God is important to us. And when looking towards this elections coming up, those are the things that we are looking at. What are the leaders that really represents our values, that represents what we're standing for, what we are crying for, what we desire for as Christian, as a nation?
How would you advise our leaders to better the country?
That is a good thing. That's a good question. Um, we want leaders that have vision, that have purpose, because we understand, I think someone alluded this morning, that everything in a country rises with leadership and falls with leadership. And we are praying that whoever will lead us within these elections, that it will be men and women that understand the context and the purpose why they are voted and why they need to be in those positions. So that is very important. So I encourage, even for our families, our people that are going to vote, look at your leaders. Who are they? Do they have vision for this nation? Do they have God's agenda at heart? Do they have God's mission at heart? Because we know that without God in this nation, we will collapse like many other nations. So we really, really, really are praying and encouraging those coming into leadership to understand why are they in that position that they are put in, because we believe that everyone in particular position, it is God that put them in there.
Yeah. So what is your message to the candidates that will be partaking in the upcoming elections?
I would say, remember where you come from and why you are there and why you are asking people to vote for you. Remember, because normally when it comes to elections such as this, everybody's making promises that we always wonder, will this promise has been fulfilled? If you do make a promise, fulfill your promise. Our people are looking for answers. They have questions. They want to see our country to go further and further, because I believe that Namibia is an incredible country that has so much potential and can give so much in Africa. It can actually change Africa. We have, our dynamics are so strong. So we do really pray that these leaders that are coming know where you are coming from and the reasons why you are there, and fulfill your mission, your mandate, and the promises that you do make.
Pastor, thank you so much for talking to us this morning and for educating us there.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and many blessings to Namibia.
Thank you so much.